What's going on, people? So this is I'm going to talk about an experience I had when I was working in a radio station, a college radio station. I didn't get paid for it because I was a student, and I was just participating in the radio club, if you will. What I liked about that time was anytime I worked there was always something going on. It was always very active, people coming and going. You see people interviewing, local acts and things of that nature. But this is specific to, like an event that I went to. It was a hip hop event. One day I walked into the station and I was given a pass. The director at the time asked me if I wanted to go to this album release party. It was the first one I ever attended. It was a party for Q-Tip's debut album, his solo debut album called Amplified. The single Vibrant thing was bubbling. It was playing a lot, and so sure, why not? And this was a type of situation where I got the pass that day and the event was happening that night, and that happened a lot. That's what I noticed. Whenever I would be in the station, people would get complimentary passes to these certain events, hip hop shows or industry parties, to where you get it that day and the event is taking place that night. So I went. The comp pass, it was a hard pass to a cotton, like hard black board cotton pass. The thing it was weird, and it had silver lettering on it, and it detailed, the club, Kit Kat Club, the Q-Tip's album release party in, Midtown Manhattan. I think it was around Times Square, from what I can remember. So I went out there, and online, I'm standing online, and I'm watching all these artists that I listened to that I was listening to and I was fans of at the time. Well, of course, P. Diddy showed up with his entourage, and at that time it was cold, so he was sporting a nice mink coat, and his team of it would seem to be like 30 people. His entourage was that large at the time, and there were other artists online that I saw, like Rampage. He was speaking to people he knew. Rampage, the last Boy Scout, who was I think he's related to Busta Rhymes. People were walking up to the club, up to the front, jumping out of cars, walking into the club. Drez from Black Sheep, and a few others that I forget. I walk in the club and I played the bar. And in the bar, I was just witnessing all the guys, all the people coming in too. I saw Ice-T, I saw Styles P, I saw Jadakiss, a bunch of, even the gentleman, I forgot his name. He always wears his head wrapped, and he works closely with P. Diddy. A black gentleman. He wears a head wrap, like he has dreads, but it's always wrapped, and he's into fashion. I forgot his name. He was there. A bunch of people. And I was enjoying myself, enjoying the ambiance and everything. Everything was pretty cool. So, after a little while, maybe about not 10 minutes, but an hour or two, I kind of started seeing people leaving, walking out of the club. And then moments after that, they turned the light on. Well, the club light above the dance floor turned on, but the bar area was still dark, and you could see people kind of clearing the floor and people still dancing, And then I took that as my cue, to leave. So I started seeing, lines of people leaving, like I said. And then I walked out, I walked out by myself. And I noticed there were, a lot of police outside, but I didn't see it. I didn't think anything weird or anything unusual about that. So I left and made my way home. The next day, I turn on the news. Oh no, I went to the radio station again after my classes, and someone asked me, did you hear what happened? What happened? And I said, what happened? Did you hear what happened to Jay-Z? And I said, no. They said Jay-Z got arrested at the Kit Kat Club, and for, at the time, allegedly, stabbing Lance Rivera, who was the head of entertainment at the time. And I said, what? I was there. And they asked me, did I see anything? And I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything unusual take place. For something like that to happen, I've been in situations where I remember when I was in another club called the Octagon one night on 33rd Street and 11th Avenue in Manhattan, where someone got clapped. They got shot, and that was it for the party. And someone was left on the ground. Well, when the floor, everyone left and was leaving the club, there was somebody lying on the ground. Okay, and that made noise and caught everyone's attention, and we exited. Everyone left. But this night at the Kit Kat Club, it didn't. Everything I found that to be unusual, because when something like that happens, or an assault takes place, it's almost like people panic, and it could sometimes a stampede, or it could be a domino effect. It's just chaos. That didn't take place that night, so I found that very strange. It didn't sit well with me until I looked in the news, and it really, they were saying that Jay-Z was arrested, and that he caught that charge. And it's crazy because the Kit Kat Club, like, I was there and I didn't see that happen, but I'm not gonna say he didn't do it, because I don't. What do I know? I was at the bar. It was just a weird type of experience, because they were saying, he was upset because his album at the time, I believe it was Volume 3, The Life and Times of S. Carter, was bootlegged. It was pirated. It was bootlegged a month before it was supposed to actually come out. So, he was upset about that, and he approached Rivera to address that, and it turned like ugly. Like, he's quoted in the papers saying that, he blacked out. But then I remember in Nas's Ether song, he made a reference to that, saying that, yeah, your man stabbed on, and Jay-Z had to pay for it, or not pay as in, like, well, he had to take the blame for it. So weird stuff. Weird stuff. It's just a story that I'm sharing about, my experience in the industry, so if you will. Even though I was in an industry head, I was more like a underground person, in the scene and stuff. And I'm probably going to chronicle some of my experiences doing that, because, I think they're interesting, and I don't mind sharing it with y'all. So leave a comment, subscribe if you like the content, and be well. Peace.